Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to MyJeepHeap today. We're going to install some Brown Dog motor mounts in a 2004 LJ. Read the instructions. Installation should be fairly simple. We'll go over the different parts and pieces of getting the install done, and it should be fairly quick. Did want to do a shout out on these motor mounts from Brown Dog Off-Road. They are beefy and stout. The welds look good. Looks like they were assembled well, so excited to get them installed. I did go with the rubber mounts, not the polyurethanes, and that's about it. So we'll start getting these things installed. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is come under here to our transmission and unbolt the 4 bolts that are connected to the transmission mount. That'll make it so when we jack up the engine, we don't have to worry about destroying that transmission mount. So step 1, remove these 4 bolts or loosen them greatly. Okay, now that we've got the transmission bolts loose, I removed the front 2 and left the back ones loose just so it won't lose its position. We get to think about safety, so we're going to jack up the engine just a hair. We don't want too much pressure so we can't get the bolts out, but we also don't want an engine falling on us. So some people will put the corner of their jack on the corner of their oil pan, but if you notice, mine's a little beat up there. So I'm gonna put this 2x6 to take some of the pressure off. So anyway, we're gonna jack that up a little bit, and next step will be to remove the driver's side mount. Word of safety here, and I'll probably repeat this multiple times. At no point do you ever want to get underneath the engine when these mounts are disconnected. So be very careful and thoughtful of where you are laying, because the last thing you need is an engine block falling on your head, or leg, or arm, or chest. I don't know if that would be a survivable event. Okay, we've got the jack under there, so we're feeling good that the engine's not going to fall down. Next thing we're going to do is remove the driver's side motor mount. Let's see if I can point it out here. So there's a bolt that goes through this bushing, through the mount. We'll need to remove that guy, and then I can't get an angle on it good, but there's also a 15mm bolt right about there. And then there's also one coming from the bottom, so we'll have to climb underneath and do that other 15. So we're going to remove those 3 bolts, then we should be able to put the new mount in. Alright, it was a little better angle from underneath. So right here is the 15mm bolt that I removed off the bottom of the motor mount. There's one on the top, right about where my finger's at. And then I also removed this nut and need to tap out the bolt. Once that's done, then I'll be able to just actually physically pull out the motor mount and jack the engine up just a hair and slip the new one in. So let's see how that goes. Alright guys, it got a little too dark to work last night, so we're on day 2. It's taking a little longer than anticipated. So I ran into an issue with the driver's side mount removal. So when the mount was installed, the bolt was in it this way, and when I attempted to remove the bolt, it would bump into the air conditioning bracket, which you can see way down, kind of can't really see down there. So it was impossible to get this bolt out. I did call Tim over at Brown Dog, and he called me back within 10 minutes, and we talked about it, and he told me the proper solution is, I don't know if you can see down there, not really, on the bracket that this mounts into, so the engine side of the motor mount bracket, there are 3 bolts kind of underneath that you can unbolt that bracket from the engine block. He suggested I do that, and then I can pull the whole assembly out, remove this, put the new motor mount on, and bolt it back up, and putting the bolt in from the other side, so I would not have that problem in the future. Unfortunately, I could not get those bolts out of the engine block with my junky power tools I have. So, my solution was to get the old cutoff wheel out and cut the bolt. So I did that last night, much to the annoyance of my neighbors at 10 p.m. And then today I ran to the hardware store and got some replacement grade 8 hardware. So that's where we are at right now. We just wanted to document the proper procedure and the make it work procedure. Okay folks, we're up here on the passenger side now. The sun glares really bad, sorry about that. But what you're looking at is where the motor mount was, and here's the perch that it bolts to. I've already removed the motor mount from this side, and we're going to stick the new one in. It's fairly simple. See if I can get my hand down in there. You just kind of, it's hard to do one-handed though. So I want to set it in place, try to line the bolts up with the holes in the mounts, and you'll notice there's an American flag on one side. So you want to make sure this American flag is facing you. That's how you know you have it in correctly. I will need 2 hands to get this done, but the way you do it is once you have this in, you'll lightly put the bolts in. I don't crank them down all the way, and then you can jack up or lower the engine to get these two line up, and you'll just slip the bolt through the motor mount. I'm going to do that. I need 2 hands. Okay, here we are passenger side, and the motor mount is installed. I just need to tighten it down. Through bolt, bolt from the top, bolt from the bottom. I did have to jack the engine up and down a couple times to get the through bolt to line up, and this motor mount's adjustable left to right as well. So a little bit of fiddling to get it to all come together. I did put some red Loctite on all the bolts just to be on the safe side. Alright people, here's the finished installed motor mount. Notice this is the driver's side, and it has the bolt that I replaced with a grade 8 bolt. So this is what you should look like when you're looking at it from the top engine. You should see an American flag on this face here. So I did install it with Loctite on all 3 bolts. I don't know if we can get over here and see the other side very well. Yeah, and so here's the Brown Dog motor mount installed on this side. It's a little tight clearance getting to this bottom bolt right there. So a couple socket extensions and you should be good. Again, I did Loctite on this side. So this completes the Brown Dog motor mount lift video. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great rest of whatever time of day, weekend, or holiday this is.